Hello, you're listening to the Shelton Times podcast. I'm your host, Marjolein Robertson, and this week I'm joined by Jakob Eunson. Hi.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, good. And I'm saying it right, Jakob?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's a J.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm asking you because Marjolein is spelled with a J.
Yeah.
And we don't say Marjolein.
No, that'd be kind of silly, wouldn't it?
But then I started second guessing myself.
Yeah, no, Dad named me after Jakob Jakobsen.
And what do you do as a job?
What I do, I live and work on the family farm.
Yes, because that's actually why I'm speaking to you, because you were in the Shelton Times recently.
Yeah.
Because you won an award.
Yeah, in March I won Young Farming Apprentice of the Year for Scotland and it was from the Lantra organisation.
So you were actually doing an apprenticeship. Was that right after school you went into a farming apprenticeship?
No, when I left school at the age of 16, I wanted to work on the farm straight away because as much as I enjoyed education, I didn't like exams, basically. And so I wanted to go into farming, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. But Dad didn't want me to jump into the farm because it can be so unsustainable depending on the government.
Yeah.
And so he wanted me to get a trade first. And we sat down one night and went over all the various trades you can do. And we landed on butchery because it was a way of expanding the business with the meat production side of it.
That's really clever.
It was just under 2 years later, I had a SVQ level 2 in butchery from the Scala Meat Company.
Oh, so did you just work at Scala Meat Company and do your training there? Cool.
Yeah, and then on my days off, I'd be back here at the farm working. And then at one point, I did take a week off for all the clipping, and I think the silage was also at that time.
So busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but and then after that, just coming to the end of my butchery apprenticeship, then my auntie, who used to work at the Shetland College but now works at the Citizens Advice Bureau, she told me about this agriculture apprenticeship that I could do through Train Shetland, because she knew when I'd planned about doing agriculture and going and working on the farm, the initial route was do hires, go to an SRUC down south, then come back in 4 years' time and work on the farm. But obviously that didn't plan out quite how it was. But she told me about this apprenticeship. I went to Janice Lisk at Train Shetland and we enrolled, and then did that for I think it was just under 3 years. I did a level 2 and then a level 3, and then at the end of level 3 I was given an award for whatever reason.
And that involved going south as well?
Yeah, it was a block release apprenticeship, so it's the only way I know how to explain it.
You eventually.
yeah, eventually they slipped me from the aisle. Every 6 weeks between August and February, I would spend 6 weeks at home, 1 week at college, and in that 1 week I'd spent at college, there's a class. And there was me and another Shetlander. We all got on great with our classmates. It was down in Barney, which is it's 15 minutes outside Dumfries, and it's a whole campus, halls and teaching facility and all that, and the farm's on it. So it was just perfect. There's no having to journey places. You're just having to
just walk out the door.
Yeah, walk out the door, and there you were in class, not late.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Only once.
Really?
I think so, yeah. It was we'd not gotten a lot of sleep that night.
Yeah, in the second year of uni, I lived closest to my lecture hall, and I was the last one there, and lecturer was like, "You must live far away." I was like, "I do." He doesn't know where I live. Pretend I live in Glasgow. But yeah.
I live in Shetland.
Yeah, I know.
Every day of the trip.
Literally just walked downstairs across the street.
Oh, really? Last one in the building.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So you won the award. Was that after you completed your course?
Yeah, it was in January. The award was given to me in March, and then the qualification came in the mail in June.
Cool. Did you know you were up for this award?
Yeah, Janice Lisk at Train Shetland had you apply for it, you put in an application, and then they choose all these different applicants through Scotland, and I suppose choose the best ones. I don't know. She let me know what was it? She put in the application, and then actually just before she was about to put it in, she wanted me to put there was a bit where you have to put in your own bit about yourself, and she wanted me to read over to see that she'd put in everything she wanted, and So I read over and I thought, yeah, like I didn't think I was gonna get very far. I got
shortlisted or something first.
Yeah, you get. I think they sent a letter, but to be fair, I didn't get the letter. It was about Christmas time, and they'd said, oh, you're shortlisted and you have to do this interview, but they interview everyone in Perth. But it was they realised it was like unrealistic to take a Shetlander to Perth for 15. It was only 15 minutes. So they phoned me. They actually phoned me the week before, and they're like, Jacob, you've never confirmed from this letter? And I was like, what letter? And apparently, they'd sent a letter. I presume it was just because of it being Christmas. Like I got it not too long after.
Okay, I was gonna say you just hadn't opened it.
No, well, yeah. But.
Now you say.
Well,
you can say they might.
It came late, and then also I didn't know about it at the time.
Yeah, if I think it's a bill, then I just put it back in Dad's pile of letters.
Exactly.
What student loans I owe them?
Yeah. So they phoned me up the week before, and they're like, "Jake, you've never confirmed about this interview," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no, yeah," and they're like, "We're gonna phone you next week between these times," and I'm like, "I'll be there."
Did you remember?
Yeah, no, I remember. I think I stayed in the house for 2 hours just in case. Not that I was skiving work, but just no.
Dad, it's a 3-hour interview.
Yeah, go feed the Kai, Dad. I'm busy. And the interview, I thought I did really well in the interview, and I must have. But the interview went great, but I felt I never was able to tell them everything, because it was just it was only 15 minutes, and I went at when they're like, oh no, Jacob, that's 15 minutes, that's it, gone. And I'm just I don't think I just felt like there was so much more I could added. I didn't hear anything for a while. They don't let you know until it was maybe 2 months later or something like that, and they're like, oh, you're to come to this event, you've been you're a finalist, you're to come to Dunblane Hydro. I was like, wow, because I just did. I thought I got as far as the interview process. That I'm happy enough with that. And then they're like, yeah, you've gotten this, you're actually a finalist. And I'm like, oh. And then I think that was when that's when I thought that's when I felt I more wanted it.
Because you got closer.
Yeah, it was just before then I was just I'll just see how it goes. I wasn't expecting anything big, but when I was a finalist, I just kind of felt I was just it'd be amazing to win it. That's all I could think was.
Also, if you're gonna leave Shetland and go to an event, you're I better win because.
Yeah.
Because I've travelled.
Yeah, no, that was another thing. I was just I don't want to go home and people so how'd you get on? I was yeah, didn't win it. Went all that way though. No, I family members were busy, but my brother Bruce was he was down for work at the time, so he was able just to jump across from Glasgow, and so he came to the event, and it was amazing. It extremely felt like the Oscars. They had golden envelopes, big screens, everything was done up, everyone was in fancy dress, and it was just it was an amazing night. I was just incredibly baffled when I won it, because they announced my name, and what they do is they announce the person who comes in second first, and even when they announced that and there's only 2 of you, I still was nah, that must be someone else. There's no way. My brother and Jan Slisk was looking at me, and I'm just thinking, no, there's no. I just kept my head doing it. I'm there's no way it can be me. There must be 3 of us. I wasn't prepared to believe there was more people, but no, it was an amazing night. I sat on a table with it was the current chairman of QMS, which is Quality Meat Scotland, and then there was also Adam Henson, who does country. He's on Country
File.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sat on a table with them two, and then there was also the actual head person of Lantra on my table.
Was the other person in the same category as you on your table?
No.
Was that a clue? If you were sitting on the table, the head person.
No, to be fair, I don't think he was actually there, because I never met him. If I'm quite honest, like it was the chairman of QMS who announced it, and I'd spent the whole night speaking to them about agriculture, which felt pretty amazing to be speaking to these well-known people in agriculture about agriculture. I felt quite, I don't know, taken seriously. And then when Jim McLaren said my name, he was like, he's come all the way from Shetland, Jakob Eunson, and I like, my jaw must have hit the ground, and we were like, the table was only like maybe 5 feet away from the stage steps, and if it was any longer, I think I just wouldn't have made it. Like, I just couldn't believe it, and then Adam Henson gave me the award and got the photos taken, and we took the first photo, and it was like I was holding it down at my side, and then I don't know, he must have just taken a shining to me, because he was like, raise it above your head, and so I raised it above my head and got a photo of me holding the trophy above my head with Adam Henson, and yeah, it was just quite amazing.
So what does the award mean for you now? Like, what have you been up to since?
What have I been up to since? A lot of work. No, I went to, I was Lantra then, they had a tent at Highland Show, and the Royal Highland Show. They invited me down, which was extremely nice, and they paid for my stay and me getting down there, and which was amazing. And they said, would you like to do I suppose maybe 5-minute talk? Like, they said, you don't have to, you're invited no matter what, but if you'd like to, then you can do a talk. And I thought, well, I mean, they're paying all this away, like they're paying for me to get all this away, and I'm not like, it's not like I'm in the Highlands or something. It's not just like 50 quid to get there or something. So I thought, like, the least I could do is try and speak to people for 5 minutes, and so I did this talk in front of, I was told there was 50 people in this small tent. It was quite nerve-wracking. I mean, it's a hot day for me because it's like 25 degrees. So like, yeah, so like, I was the day I'd been like, it was on the Saturday, and the day before the sun had been out a lot, and my face was just like red, and like it was all like not burnt, but just like I'd gotten the sun big time. And I only realized it when I came in that night. It didn't even occur to me like, oh, I should have worn like sunscreen or something. But I did this talk in front of 50 people, and there was a podium and a microphone. I don't like microphones just because like I wasn't sure how loud I was supposed to speak, and as soon as I could kind of hear myself, then I felt better and could kind of relax. And the talk actually went really well until I started to run out of things to say. And it wasn't that I was running out of things to say, it was because I was genuinely at the end, and I never had thought, because I didn't want to write there's two lasses in front of me, and they did their talks amazingly. One had written out, we'll say, a script. Like, she'd written everything down, and she was able to follow it word for word and look up and speak. And then there was another lass who then like had it in notes, like she just had bullet points, and she was able to do each topic. And then there was me, who had like been like doing it in my head, because the thing is, if I had written it down, well, like two things, like partly because I'm dyslexic, I think I would have stressed over trying to read that, and then secondly, I think I would have just like focused too much on looking down and not speaking to the crowd. So I found it better if I just speak like to people without having to write something down.
It's way more engaging if you're in the crowd, because it's like in the moment and it's more personal.
Yeah, that's like all the comments I got back was like how personal, and like how they could tell that it was like coming from the heart, and like it was just genuine. So I thought that was perfect then. But when it came to the end of it, I just at no point like I thought like how will I end this speech? And so when I reached everything, when I spoke about everything, I just went, oh, and I genuinely did stop and went, yeah, that's me, like that's me, like I'm done. Thank you. And I looked to his name was Kevin. He's a big guy at Lantra, and he's a very nice man, and he came over and helped me like off, because he could see that I was struggling. And I said to him, I was like, Kevin, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was supposed to say goodbye at the end of that. This one of these things, like I just it didn't occur to me to how to end a speech. I never occurred to me, but it clearly was something I should have thought about. But no, and then later on in the afternoon, after looking at animals and shampooing a sheep, but on a retrospect, my brother and his family were there and they were showing sheep. And so that's why I shampooed a sheep. Not for just any reason.
Like, no, he did not say shampoo.
Oh no, I shampooed a sheep.
Pay £5, get to shampoo a sheep.
I've done it once. I'm never doing it again because why would I shampoo a sheep? It's just weird.
I've never shampooed a sheep.
Well,
we've never taken our sheep to the shows.
Yeah,
so
it's a whole different shebang there.
But it must take ages to rinse.
It was a weird ordeal. I'll tell you that. After I'd spent the rest of the day with them. And then I had to go speak to NFU about taking on apprentices in the sector and promoting it because of how important it is compared to uni graduates. Because I, after going through 2 apprenticeships and seeing my most of my best friends have done apprenticeships, there's quite the stigma to think that you have to go to uni to succeed. And all I can think is, well, I've got 2 different apprenticeships within the 4 years. The people I went to school with are still doing their degrees for 1 degree, and I've done 2 apprenticeships in 2 years. 4 years. Then I can kind of look back and think, well, I've achieved a lot, I've succeeded a lot, and I didn't have to go to uni. I had my college lifestyle at Barney, which was amazing, but I just think that you don't an apprenticeship nowadays, because of how skilled you have to be, seeing how the farming university ones were doing to us, it's virtually almost exact same. And I don't think you just have to be pressured into going to uni to succeed.
That is push on you the whole way through education. It's more education mm-hmm. of the same kind of similar vein. And it is actually, I think apprenticeships are brilliant because you can actually go and work straight away. Yeah,
and you're getting paid instead of at the end of 4 years you might have a loan or a debt. Then you're.
Do you know those envelopes are of my dad? Just hide it in his mail and pretend I don't have a debt.
Then you have you're getting paid for an apprenticeship. So I think the people who do stay at home or do an apprenticeship, they're just as good as these teens who are going off to uni to learn engineering. I can't really see I can see that people who are working hard and learning on the job, I feel they're a lot more suited to the working lifestyle compared to these ones who have been in uni and they haven't had to work hard all the time to get this qualification. Yeah. So I feel personally that apprenticeships, that there's a lot said for doing an apprenticeship and getting a trade than going to uni and getting a diploma.
Yeah, it's about finding the most relevant path to what you want to do, and it's not necessarily university.
Yeah. You can come away from an apprenticeship and if you'll always have it in your back belt, and you've made money on the way, so you've not lost anything by doing it.
And what are your plans now?
What are my plans now? It's to continue farming, and because I'm a trained butcher, I do all the farm's butchery, and it's making the farm more sustainable to be able to have someone working on it full time to be able to take an income out of it, because that wasn't really the case before, because you have to be reliant on subsidies. But now with Brexit looming and how governments don't seem to understand farming in Shetland or the Western Isles, or anywhere above really the central belt, then it's very uncertain how farming is going to look in the future, or subsidies for that matter. So if you're able to do that bit extra, like I am with butchery, and make it more viable, then it's how I see it being the way forward, is doing it. If you do that bit extra to make it more sustainable, then you're going to be more economically viable in the future. So what I plan to be doing right now is continue farming, but make farming more reliable on
For the long term?
on the long term, and on the hard work I put in instead of having to rely on late payments by the government or something.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today.
No problem.
You are good at speaking.
Thank you so much.
That's not meant to make you sound surprised.
That's such a charming thing for you to say.
It's just because I wanted to see how you'd finish when you start speaking.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you, listeners. I think that's been over 20 minutes. Yeah. So
wow.
Thank you for listening.
I felt like no time at all.
No. Imagine your 5-minute speech had actually been 2 hours.
I know.
I
should have gotten you there. It'd been so much easier.
No, I'm terrible for timing myself. I did a guest slot at the Fringe and I had to speak for exactly 4 minutes.
Exactly 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, you can go like half a minute over or under.
Yeah.
So I put my phone in and I put an alarm on for 3.5 minutes. So
that's quite clever.
Yeah, so I was like, this is good. And then it never went off. So I finished and wrapped up. I was like, oh my gosh, if it's not gone to 3.5 minutes, it's too early for me to finish and I'll get into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on and on and on, and then I was like, no, I can't, it's not even funny anymore, I don't have anything else to say, I can advertise my show, everyone was looking at me. I walked off the stage, I gave the guy the mic back, and then realised I'd set my alarm for 3.5 hours. I talked for like 7 minutes, which is
really?
a major no. Anyway. But
you almost had it.
Yeah, it's just only double the time. But thanks so much for speaking to us today. It's been really interesting.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, and all the best with future speeches as well.
Thank you.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Bye, listeners.